Welcome to Nature Speaks, everyone. My name is Tracy, and this is today's message channeled from the spirits and energies of the natural world. If I were to tell you that you have a greater power within you than you can imagine, you might be surprised to learn that it is the vibrational healing energy of the spirit of rest. The spirit of rest is stepping forward today, the invitation and a blessing of attunement and the desire to have a realigned relation with us as a part of us, yes, and as that which is our own superpower for healing. They describe themselves as, we are the spring of well-being. If you invest in anything, invest in rest. Why? Because it is essential to the maintenance and well-being of our physical, emotional, and mental capacities and vitality. They observe that we have restless minds. They're so filled with all sorts of things. They look at us, they go, your minds look to us like a post office that's been on strike and is just filled to every possible corner with all of these things that need to be delivered or received or sent or whatever, and they go, you just can't sustain yourself that way, there's no room. And they further offer that we also have restless hearts. That one of the reasons we have these restless minds and restless hearts is because we tend to wander off with our thoughts, either with fear towards potentials that have yet to play out in the future, and such as a fear of what might happen, a fear of what might not happen, a fear of that which we hoped for not playing out, or that which we are afraid will play out, playing out. And they offer, it's certainly discerning to be prepared for, say, a storm coming in the next day or two, and to take precautions with that fair warning. And yet your clan has a tendency to go all the way out to the furthest edge of the horizon of the future possibilities, and this causes the restlessness. Then in the other direction, they offer, your clan goes back in the other direction towards the past, or what you perceive of as the past, where you go rummaging around in the past all the time with your restless heart, your restless thoughts, and all you really are finding is the empty wrapper of that point of what actually occurred. You know, the empty wrapper, you've already consumed it. Like, whatever was in the wrapper, it's consumed. You've already had that point. And now you might be able to read, and get some basic information on what's on the outside of the wrapper, but you can't reconsume it. So these are areas where rest, allowing yourself to know and rejuvenate yourself through actual physical rest of sleep, more than any other point in our history, that we have a lot of competition for that period of time when, before we had artificial lighting, before we had electronic devices that would distract us, entertain us, and pull us away from what is required. We were more able to avail ourselves of the natural cycles that allowed us to actually claim the power of restoration and rejuvenation that comes from actually a good night's sleep, as we were always told we need to have. They observe that it's not that they're telling us to throw away these devices or not to use the artificial light. It's about feeling that because we have these devices, well, first of all, they acknowledge that they might kind of suck you in and You don't realize you don't realize how depleted this is making you, not only individually, but as a whole clan. You're all kind of like, you have like iron poor blood, so to speak, that imagery. You have iron poor blood. And it's that idea that you're just sort of generally depleted from your energy fields now because these things are sucking them away. And they further observe that rest has this sort of negative connotation with it right now, which they seek to rinse that mud of that distortion off, and quickly. The concept that if someone seeks to rest, that they're lazy, or that they're somehow less worthy, that's a vibration of a conflation of adjectives that's happening right now, which is a confusion. And to shed the concept that anyone who has and claims their requirement for physical rest as anything other than listening to a great physician suggesting the shortest path to renewed health and well-being would be inaccurate. They invite us to watch what happens when an infant has and is doing its best to grow as quickly as it can, and it needs great quantities of rest to grow its physical form, to grow its mental capacities or its thought forms as they describe them, and to grow its emotional abilities to manage whatever is coming down the pipe. And this is one of the reasons they are stepping forward now. Step forward and they go, you knew that you could hold in your hand what you might consider the fountain of youth, the wellspring of well-being, or for some even a miracle cure. You would no longer, through that which is claiming of rest as one of the greatest tools of healing and regeneration of your physical form, you might find that you don't turn to all those drugs and potions, as they describe them, and medications. They don't deny that those have value. They do offer, though, that there would be those in those fields that might be less pleased to have us understand just how powerful a healer rest is, as it might cause their purses to be less full. The Great Spirit of Rest offers that while we may not understand it or perceive it, we are in a season of growth that we have called to ourselves from the innermost place of our hearts as a human family. And as such, rest for us is essential as we are seeking to grow, to evolve, and possibly to ascend. Many of us may be feeling fatigued, more fatigued than normal, and you might cast around and go, am I just really tired of my stress or whatever's going on in my life? And they go, it's actually more than that. If you are feeling really fatigued, it's because you're growing. And as you're seeking to grow your energy field, you require rest. It's essential to help you grow. And they invite us to listen. You feel fatigued. Don't brush it off. Understand that that is part of what is required for you to claim the full growth that we have called to ourselves right now. It's very exciting, I think. So this is the short video summary of channeling that came through from the Great Spirit of Rest, who is really looking forward to a renewed and beneficial relationship for us. And to all who have and receive it, I am most grateful for your light. If you are drawn to consume more than this short video summary, access to the full channeling of today's update is available on the Gaia Translate podcast, streaming now on your favorite podcast platform, or listen for free at www.gaiatranslate.com.